I was involved back in the setting up of the research networks. Back in 1998, I started the Wales Cancer Trials Network, and then we set up the NCRN, and I was on the steering group and with Peter Selby, and then so on, right back in the early days. And I do think that all of that background, because really the CRN enabled the delivery of recovery. Enabled, all of the staff, your staff, the NIHR CRN staff, who actually did the work in all these COVID trials. That's a really important point to make. And it's on the back of 20 years investment in a research delivery culture in the NHS. And it's absolutely the proof of the pudding, or whatever the expression is. This is the evidence that all this investment down the years is there. And it was able to be used when an emergency came, and it was resilient to that emergency. And I think that would be the first point I would make about the CRN. The development of the CRN had meant that you had a trained workforce in every hospital in the country and in primary care, ready to roll, and it could be adapted to this emergency. The second point is the MAMS, the adaptive design, and the MRC, with their STAMPEDE, opened the door to that. And that opened in about 2001 or 2 or something. So quite soon after the NCRN. That's been hugely successful, and has really shown the way these things can be done. Just the adaptive design methodology has come in and been taken up by other disciplines. So kind of got the building of the CRN, the building of the adaptive design methodology, and then you've got the overlay of the precision medicine and the stratification, which came in as another layer on top of that. And that's what FOCUS4 and Matrix were doing. They were building like a third tier onto this. That was the molecular stratification. Using adaptive methodologies, slightly different adaptive methodologies, but still it was building on the CRN, using adaptive methodologies, but with stratification. So I think that will be, that to me is what has happened over the last 20 years. And recovery is just a fantastic example of the whole of the research infrastructure which NIHR has built, suddenly turning its attention to an emergency